All right, the next part of this is going to be putting your lock on here. I'll show you step by step how to do that. First thing you do is take all your stuff out of your kit that you got. New chrome handle, your push button. You got a couple springs here. The spring that actually pushes tension against the lock to hold it out or whatever. Something I did like about this kit, depending on your glass thickness, they've given you shims. Also, if you look at the little rubber grommets, you see the difference. You've got a thin, one for the thin glass and one for the thick glass. Make sure you use the right one of those. I've got the thin glass, so I'll take all these shims and stuff that I'm gonna need. First thing we're gonna do, probably run off camera right quick. You wanna take and push that roll pin just a little bit in the bottom side of your lock, okay? You don't wanna put it on the top. I've found that it's a little bit easier to stick it on the bottom, and I'll show you what all that's about in a minute. If you've got it up top, you take the chance of swinging against your glass here, the way that it sits in. You're gonna be swinging on top of your glass, whereas if it's on the bottom, you've got less chance of busting that glass or messing with it. So step off camera right quick and try to knock that in there and come right back. Let's see if I can get that. May not have to. We'll see. There it went. You just want enough to hold it. You can kind of see down inside there. That's not coming out. That's what we want. We want to get that started, and then we can start piecing it together. Find the outside. You see the bow in your glass. This is the outside with your hinge. Okay. You're going to take and put your little gaskets. I got the chrome cap for the outside. I just like it better. Take your grommet there. It's kind of got this triangular looking, kind of a weird oval looking hole. The arrow thing is going to be facing up towards the top of the glass, the narrow part. Take this cylinder here. If you'll take a look at it and see if I can get that on the camera. You see how one side is shorter than the other? You want the tall side up top, okay? When you're piecing that together. Take your shim, stick that on there. Take your cylinder, tall side towards the top, low side towards the bottom, and then you can go ahead and put your screw in that. Keep in mind when you're tightening this down, you just want it snug. You don't actually want to over tighten it. And I'll show you how you're going to know when to stop. I'm trying to get this up here in the camera. I'm going to tighten this. If you look outside here at this rubber seal that we just stuck in there, you just want that to ease out just a little bit. You don't want to mash it too much. Come around there so I can see. You've got that rubber seal mashed out just a little bit around that chrome. Kind of hard to tell, kind of hard to see. Come back around and we'll finish putting that together. All right, the next thing you're gonna do, something I found that was a little bit easier. Take your button and drop your button down in there. There's two different springs. I'm sure that there is a difference. I couldn't tell when I pieced the first one together. So we're going to stick one of those in there. Kind of a balancing act there. Take this, sorry, set that down. This little wavy spring here needs to go on top of that. And it needs to go all the way to the bottom, okay? If it's not all the way to the bottom, then your lock handle is not going to slide on top of there. So while you've got that in there, let me see. Kind of do this here. Get that sitting down in there. You're gonna turn this just a little bit and you'll feel it pop. Okay? What you're looking for is you wanna make sure that you can take the tension out of that wavy spring or wavy washer there. You see that? Once you've got that, you can take and bump that roll pin in there just a little bit.
Not quite sit down in there.
All right, got some tension on it. It is latched. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off with a punch. Put a little strip of tape on that first. I don't want to scuff this bottom. That's the other thing, guys. Protect your surfaces. Make sure you don't scuff or scratch them. Let's see if I can hold on to this. Other thing is, guys, something I meant to say, you're knocking it in on the bottom. If you bump this chrome or scuff it or scratch it, you'll never be able to see it. If you do that up top, liable to be a problem for you. So let me take this tape off of there and I'll come around and show you what we got. The roll pin is in there, just to the tip there. Knocked it in from the bottom. Your latch locked is going to be like this. Push your button, twist it up. You want to operate this a couple times, make sure it works right, make sure it's locking and doing what it's supposed to. All right, so the lock's on there, and now we're going to take this and put it in the actual frame in the assembly. Okay, so I've got my weather stripping on. I've got my hinge on, I've got the piece across the back, the weather stripping. I've got my lock and lock assembly on my window. And next, I'm gonna put the window in there, go ahead and stab the window and get the hardware on the bottom. Once I get this assembled, I will go ahead and hit that with a little bit of spray paint, just kind of a rust preventative. But with that, we'll go ahead and get started. Laid out all my hardware, guys, so that I can reach over and grab it and go. Good practice to get all your hardware and everything that you're gonna need. Here on the bottom, you've got to try to stab this in there and slide these washers and stuff in there. It's a little tricky, but it's possible. This washer will sit on top. I'm using a stainless steel instead of the nylon that I talked about previously. There's a flat side of this egg-looking washer. The flat side is going to go towards the front. That's so that when that turns, when you pop that glass out, it's got a stopping point, okay? Flat spot towards the front of the vent window. Try to get that stabbed in there right quick. You're going to try not to shove your weather stripping down in there. There's another thing, guys. You're going to go in from the outside. Too much bend in it up here. You stick it in there from the outside. That way your hinge and stuff will come through and mount it later. Try to set that on top of there. Look at there. That one went fairly easy. Try to work that down in there. It's kind of bind. Once you get that on closer down in there, guys, you'll see what I was talking about, not being able to take it through the front. But I've got that weird egg-looking flat washer, stainless steel. I'm gonna go with another stainless steel on the bottom of that. My brand new spring, you can reuse your spring. Not much purpose in it, but you have to have one. Now this is that other washer with the square hole in it. I'm gonna stick that on the bottom. Another stainless on the bottom. I'm sorry, take that back. I'm taking the stainless off there. The square notched one on the bottom. You've got this weird looking wing looking thing. All this does is lock your nut on there. I would recommend putting that back on. Put that on there. Your brand new stainless steel 5/16 by 24 nut is going to go on the bottom of that. All right. That's not all the way in there quite yet, but I'm gonna take and tighten all this stuff up with my impact or with a ratchet, and then we'll come back to the top part where we'll actually put the rivet up here in the top. But let me tighten this up right quick. I'll be right back. I've got the end down here tight, and now it's time to put this rivet in there. See if you can zoom in, see if I can get it to zoom in on that. You see how it's got a step on it? It's flat on the bottom. It's got a heavy end, and then it flattens down or necks down into a smaller diameter. There's a reason for that. This hinge, see if I can show you. This hinge, the hole up top is the big part, and then it's got one on the bottom that's quite a bit smaller. Now, earlier I had an extra set of hands when doing this. I'm gonna try to get this done and do it on camera, but you're gonna take that that rivet in there, stick it in there just like that, and this is where we're gonna use that other piece, that part of that kit that we got. All right, pull that tape off of there and show you guys what we got. Top of it looks pretty good and flat. You want to look, make sure this is what you're going for. You don't want any kind of gap in between here. You want that top and bottom piece to set flush. Got the bottom there good and flattened out. See how that's good and flat? That's what you're going for, guys. Take it now and let me pull out pan out here. So I've got my vent window assembly now. The hinge works great. You can tell it's new stuff. Tighten that up. Swing that in there. Work your latch. Make sure it's good. And that's it, guys. All right, guys, so finished up both the vent window rebuilds. Man, I'm impressed. I'm really excited to have this part of the truck done. These are going in the K5 Blazer, and probably I'll end up doing some on my C10 also. Rebuilding these versus buying the new ones or buying the ones from LMC. If I had it to do over again, I would definitely rebuild some more. These cost me about half as much. Now I spent a little money getting some stuff powder coated. Went to a couple salvage yards. Some of the pieces that I had were not any good, so I ended up having to buy some extra parts. But all in all, great stuff, man. The vent window weather strip is good. Everything turned out really good. I've got to clean some of the oil off of it and stuff like that, but man, they are sharp. Versus spending, I guess, $230 a piece for the ones on LMC, you're talking $500 shipped to the door for some that are already made. I've been hearing that the quality on those is not real great. This is good old American made stuff here from back in the day, and it's been refurbished now, so you can't really beat that, you know. Hard to beat that stuff. So buy the stuff, guys. Do it yourself. Work on your own stuff and try to keep these trucks on the road. Shout out to my buddy that powder coated these, Paul Serrar at PNC Powder Coating and Fabrication. They're in Nash, Texas. Dude hooked me up. He powder coated these 3 or 4 times. Stripped them down, coated them, wasn't happy with them, redid them, wasn't happy with them. I'd have been fine with it the first or second time he did it, you know, but he wanted to send some quality stuff out. Shout out to him for taking the extra time and doing it, making it right, making it the best he could make it. So I wanted to shout out to him. But guys, parts and stuff for both windows, I think all said and done, maybe 200 bucks in both windows, about $100 a piece. And that's going to be running to my junkyard, you know, local junkyard here, getting some things that it was not any good, buying the extra hardware kit, the springs, weather stripping, everything. I'm excited. I'll tell you what, I'm excited. I'm ready to get these in my doors, get my doors built, and get those hung on this K5 Blazer. So with that, guys, if you like what you're seeing, if you like the video content and stuff, be sure to subscribe, share the videos, get the word out, let these guys know that, hey, you know, this kind of stuff, it takes a little time. It is a little tedious in some regard, but if I can do it, you can do it. You know, take this knowledge, pass it along to somebody else, let them see what somebody out there is doing so that they can do their own, so they don't have to go spend the 500 bucks for new vent windows. I'm pretty much building a brand new K5 Blazer, frame off. A lot of people are not doing that. They don't need brand new quality. They want to be able to take their own, rebuild them. So share this video, guys. Get it out there and let everybody see it so that they can do their own, okay? So with that, I'm gonna cut the video. Probably try to break this series up into 3 or 4 videos. They all kind of ran kind of long. I like to talk, can't tell, but try to get these all set up, and hopefully the next thing that you'll see me doing is putting the doors together and then hanging the doors on the K5. So with that, cutting the video, guys. Have a good one.